Hello, I'm Rob Westervelt, Editor-in-Chief of IHS Chemical Week, welcoming you to the 2014 IHS Chemical World Petrochemical Conference. And I'm delighted to be joined by Roberto Gualdoni, CEO of Styrolution. Roberto, thank you for joining us.
Thank you, Rob, for having me here.
Great. Styrolution was formed 2 years ago with the combination of the Styrenics operations of BASF and INEOS. Can you give us a sense today of where Styrolution stands today, 2 years after its creation?
Thank you for the question. When we conceived the company 3 years ago, well, we were thinking about a restructuring case, a restructuring play. So that's what we went out to do 2.5 years ago. We integrated the company by now. I think we can say that proudly. We have invested into this JV $400 million of capex in the last 2.5 years, bringing our commodity assets to the left in this cost curve. And we have invested also in our future, which we see more in the specialties and near to the markets. We have reduced our debt by $200 million. We have a net debt leverage of 1 time EBITDA now. And having made all that, now we are going into the new phase in this triple shift strategy, which we have defined for ourselves, moving more into the specialty arena and more into the emerging markets.
You mentioned the $400 million in investment. Where specifically is that being targeted?
Well, as I was saying, in the commodity markets, and we have a bit of Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde within Styrolution. In the commodity markets, we are trying to bring our assets, which are very well positioned, most of them, I would even say all of our commodity assets today are in the first quartile in the cost curve. So we are trying to bring them further to the left in the cost curve. And this is happening mainly in the United States, where our styrenic business is consolidated based in styrene monomer, which we are producing here in Bayport and Texas City. Both of them, very good assets in all terms. And we are profiting from this shale phenomenon also in this area. The rest of the investment is going to specialties. We are investing in Korea, we are investing in India, in Europe particularly. We are going into a new Mexican facility that we are about to start. And you have heard about our Braskem JV idea. We are developing that. We are now through with the antitrust authorities that have given us a go-ahead. So we are confident that we are also moving that envelope further.
Great. Obviously, a big theme of the conference here is how shale gas has really transformed the cost position of the U.S. Mm-hmm. And what opportunities does this present for investment, particularly in styrenics? You mentioned the Bayport project, but beyond that, what do you see as the opportunities?
I think, all in all, the shale gas phenomenon affects us indirectly. I think it goes without saying that C2 is a portion of our cost curve, but certainly not the main one, which is benzene. Anyway, we are very happy with the assets we have here in the Gulf. As I was saying, Bayport, Texas City, both of them very good position in the cost curve. Bayport is probably one of the best assets in the industry globally. And we are benefiting already from low energy costs. You know, styrene monomer is very energy intensive, and we are already benefiting from that today. We expect that as the new crackers come on stream, we're going to see more and more of a better C2 differential to the rest of the regions. And thus, we think we're going to run those assets flat as we have been doing it in the last 2.5 years.
Great. Obviously, the styrenics industry has undergone significant consolidation in the last 5 years, driven in part by moves like Styrolution. What has driven this, and can we expect it to continue?
I was commenting yesterday, if you go back in history, and not too long, you would find 10 different company names in what today is Styrolution. So this has been a very volatile, low margin, and cyclical business. And because of that, we have seen this consolidation. And this consolidation, I think, has peaked with the creation of Styrolution. It's going to be difficult to keep on gaining momentum. Just think about antitrust reasons. The industry has already reached a certain point of inflection. I think we're going to keep on seeing that in different industries and industry segments. I hope that Styrolution also can be a bit provoking, thought-provoking concept for other parts of the industry. We know we have lots of our petrochemical and petrochemical plus one segments in which we believe there's still some potential to do something like that. You've seen that with PVC now in Europe, following a little bit that route. It's going to stay. I think the cyclicality and the volatility of this market is here to stay. You have to be flexible. You have to do the homework, traditional things that you always want to do, keep your costs in place, and we'll start moving nearer to the customer in terms of specialty. We are positioned very nicely in the 5 focus industries: automotive, electronics, healthcare. And that's where we want to really thrust the main part of our innovation.
Okay. A couple final questions on get your assessment of current conditions. I guess starting in Europe, what's demand like today, and what's your assessment of economic conditions in Europe?
Well, Europe is coming back on a very low level. I have to also admit that. We are seeing that certainly Central Europe is still in good shape, particularly Germany. And we are seeing that now the southern countries in Europe are starting to come back on a very low level, but still a very positive signal. In terms of industries, what we see is that the industries in which we are, and let me mention that once again, automotive is something in which we certainly think we have the right products for this industry going forward. We see that in Europe, but also in a global basis. We are making more and more inroads into that arena. Electronics, healthcare is working nicely. The general economic climate in Europe is okay. I would say the same for the States. If there's anything that concerns us a little bit today, it's Asia, and particularly China, and where this huge silverback gorilla is moving.
Great. Roberto, thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you for having me here.
Great. Thank you.